Welcome everybody to our briefing this afternoon about growing prospects. I'm sure there's a few more joining as we go, but we'll get started and won't keep you too long. But thank you for joining us this afternoon while we talk about growing prospects, which is really looking at how we can support people either looking for a new career or a second career in agriculture and horticulture. So we thought we would start with a quick introduction of who TIA are for anybody that doesn't know yet. So we're the Institute for Agriculture and Horticulture, and we're agriculture's professional body for everybody that works in the industry, regardless of the role that you've got or the level that you're working at. So it's for everybody. And we really see ourselves as the home of skills and career support. And we're here to help people and businesses fulfill their potential so that the industry can thrive into the future and adapt as it evolves as well. So for those working in the industry or those that own businesses in the industry, we have an innovative platform that produces tailored advice for those people, and it gives practical tools, templates, toolkits to help people with their lifelong learning journey and improve in the areas that they need to, and really keep on top of new information as well. But for those that want to look into a job into farming, then really we're a gateway to lots of different support and training to help people really make the most of a rewarding career in the industry. So we work with the farmers and growers in three key areas: information and support. So we have commissioned labour market information so that we can understand what the workforce currently looks like, what the skills gaps are and where the needs are, but we're also just commissioned some work looking at innovation and technology and what that will mean to our workforce of the future. And by understanding the future workforce, we can understand the skills that are needed, the behaviours, the knowledge, etc. So that can help us look at the people that we need in our industry. We're also looking at how we can signpost people. For farmers and growers, an HR department is often a rare luxury. So we're here to help them with their technical needs, their HR support, careers information and general CPD as well. And we do that through a range of toolkits and templates and signposting. So on the lifelong learning side of it, we have a capability framework, which we believe is probably unique in the country at the moment. And this works at three levels, either operator, supervisor or manager, but it shows everybody the skills, the knowledge, the behaviour that you need in a specific role on farm. And that could be any of the jobs working in any of the sectors, a very standardised role. So it helps people know where their current gaps are, but it also helps them look at the future and what they would need to do if they wanted to progress in the industry, which we think is a really important element to this sector. We have our essential skills modules, which are available to help people get to grips with the basics, whether that be health and safety, communication skills, biosecurity, animal health and welfare. But it really helps people get a rounded base into joining the industry and learning what their colleagues are knowing already. We have curated learning pathways, so that brings together lots of information from across the internet to make it really easy for people that are short of time, but they want to learn something very specific. All the information is in one place for them. And then we signpost out to lots of other training, practical training, and discussion groups, etc., different opportunities for people in the industry. We're also responsible for the apprenticeships involved in farming and growing as well, and the review of those. I should have mentioned the career section as well, which is what we're here for, sorry. So we've also done research on careers, and that has shown us some what we expected to see, where there is often a mismatch in where people believe the industry's at currently and to where actually we know where the industry's at. And they can be quite different in the fact that it is a really innovative industry. There is lots of opportunities for people and lots of progression for people as they grow a career as well. So where sometimes people think it's a bit of a dead-end job, we're here to show that is very much not the case anymore. So we have a careers action plan to bring everybody together so that we can provide a much more coordinated response to people looking for information on the industry. There's career profiles and pathways. And really, we're looking at how we can promote to an audience beyond farming and growing, which is where growing prospects come in, because historically it's tended to be those farmers' children that have come into the business. And we're looking at how we can widen that gap and increase the diversity in the industry. So growing prospects is one way that we're doing this, and we're just going to talk to you today about what that involves and how you can make the most of it. So why do we have growing prospects to start off with? We've got some issues on this slide that affect our workforce. I don't think they're actually a surprise to anybody in any sector. The impact of Brexit has hit our availability of seasonal workers, which means that we do need more domestic labour in the workforce going forward. As I've mentioned, there is a perceived unattractiveness about farm work and perception out there about low wages, long hours. The wages can really be quite good in our sector, and long hours are there. I can't deny that, but not all the time. And so how do we really build a picture of showing people what it's really like on farm nowadays? And often other sectors can compete for our labour as well nowadays. So we also know there's an ageing workforce, and that people, if they don't understand the prospects of what our sector can offer people, then they're not going to consider it. And again, how do we show people that full opportunity? The impact that this has had on our industry in particular is really that we've got unharvested crops out there. There's people ploughing their crops back into the fields. The scarcity of workers has driven up wages and recruitment, which means farm profit margins are really struggling. And that has affected the supply chain as well, where you've seen your empty shelves at some point over the past 18 months, which is why DEFRA were really keen that we worked on this project and we brought all of this together. So as an overview, Growing Prospects works in 3 elements: the work coaches and careers advisors. And for this element, we've produced job profiles. There's a learning module aimed at people such as yourselves that are on the call today. And thank you to those that are on the call that have helped us as we've developed these and given us feedback. We also have a virtual work experience module if there is somebody that really wants to know more about the industry. It's quite an in-depth module. It's 5 hours work for people to go through, but they get a real feeling of what the industry has to offer. And that's on a nationally available, free to access platform. So it's there for anybody if you want to pass that on to somebody as well. And we've got information on our website as well about all of this and how it links together. So really, we're trying to equip work coaches and careers advisors with that background information so that when you're working with somebody, you know what opportunities are available and you know what would work for them in particular. From an owner and manager perspective, as I've already mentioned, a lot of people come into the industry with some experience, and that's how farm managers are used to it. So we've really looked at how can farm managers improve their recruitment to that wider audience, and we've provided recruitment toolkits for them, some induction learning pathways so that if they have a new member of staff, they can put them on that pathway, and Karen's going to run through those shortly. And then there's some decision trees as well that really just help them look at their own circumstance and what's the best thing for them to do to move forward. So again, empowering that employer to be an employer of choice ultimately. The next element, which brings it all to a circle, is the new entrant side of it. So this is where we're looking at providing those career profiles again, and we've got case study videos to bring that to life as well so they can see the type of people doing the roles. And we've also got a series of introduction modules as well that will help people really get a grip of what happens in that sector and what they need to know, what they need to do, what a typical day would look like. And we'll just run through one of those at the end of the presentation. But as with those induction learning pathways that we've got for the employers, they're also available to somebody who might be thinking of joining the industry. Then they can actually do some of that learning before they even go for an interview so that they can show they've got that interest and that base knowledge as well. So I'm just going to pass it over to Karen now, who's going to run through the Reimagining Jobs in Agriculture, which is the learning module for work coaches and advisors.
That's great, thanks Tess. So hopefully everyone can hear me okay. So we've created a range of digital learning resources as part of the Growing Prospects project. The first of which is our Reimagining Jobs in Agriculture and Horticulture module. And this is aimed at work coaches, careers advisors, and anyone else who helps people find work in some capacity. So I'm going to sort of try and share my screen with you and give you a quick demo of this module. I don't think that's coming through okay, is it?
I'm not seeing it, Karen.
No.
Oh. think it's coming now.
No?
We've got your screen now, Karen.
I think we've got the wrong screen for you, Karen.
Oh. Apologies. Okay. Apologies for that. I don't know what happened then. So the module can actually be accessed on the TIA website, which is tia.org. I'll just scroll down. So the module takes around 20 minutes to complete, and there's lots of video case studies throughout the module. So it's a good idea to have headphones and speakers as you're going through it. You can also gain a certificate for achievement. So to start off with, you'll just enter your name. And it starts off with a quick video clip, and then it follows onto a quiz type format. So we've basically designed the module to challenge and address some of the preconceptions about working in the agriculture and horticulture sector. And I'll show you a few of those questions until you can see how it works. So the first one comes up as if I live in a city and it's too far to travel to work on a farm. It's something we hear quite often. So then it asks you to think about which of these statements you think is true, and then you can find out if you're right. So throughout the feedback, you can gain different insights about the industry, be able to watch short case study videos and access additional resources. So I'll just show you one more question so you can just see. So this short video clips, as I mentioned, links to resources. So it's about 10 questions in total. And at the end of the module, there's a list of links to training providers, job profiles, agriculture and horticulture recruitment sites, and further information. And also to complement this module, we've created a one-page information sheet that contains links to digital learning modules, agriculture and horticulture recruitment sites, training and further information such as job profiles. So that information sheet I've just mentioned we'll be sending out to you all as well. So I think it's probably going to be a useful resource. So that'll be sent out to you all with a copy of the webinar recording. So I'm just going to stop sharing and hopefully I can get back to the screen and ask Tess to share the next slides for me. So the next resource that we've developed is called Grow Your Team Mastering Recruitment. And this module's been designed for farm owners and managers who are responsible for recruitment. It covers each stage of the recruitment process, from how to be an employer of choice through to onboarding. Throughout the module, there's a wide range of practical resources, templates, information, ideas that provide a sort of complete recruitment toolkit. In the sourcing section of the module as well, just to let you know, because I know there's quite a few people that this will probably be of interest to on the webinar, is that we've outlined various methods to attract new employees. including a dedicated segment on the Find a Job website and the support services offered by Job Centre Plus. So we're hoping to encourage more farmers and growers to use these services to promote their vacancies and to make them aware of these sort of services. So I'm going to the next slide, please. The next thing is a series of 4 induction learning paths. So these learning paths, they're aimed at 4 different types of farms, and the goal is to provide online training that farms can use with their new employees to help them familiarise themselves with essential health and safety, biosecurity, food safety and animal health and welfare knowledge. So as they go through the induction paths, they can gain sort of several certificates and CPD points. This could also be a useful resource for anyone wishing to enter farming who's perhaps new to this sector, doesn't know too much about it, and wants to gain a bit more knowledge. And it could potentially be helpful as well to gain these certificates, you know, if you're looking for work in the sector. So individuals can register for tier membership and complete the induction training, and the tier offers a 30-day free membership trial. So the learning paths could be completed well within that time. So that could be a useful resource to pass on to any of your customers or clients. So that's it from me. I'll pass back to you then, Tess, if that's okay.
Yeah, thank you very much, Karen. And it's also good to say as well that when people do join the industry, then tier membership for somebody who's completely new, there's actually 3 years access for free for them, so that they can really get embedded into the industry and get the skills that they need and get that development record that's really important for them. And also as well to point that the indicative times we've got here is that can be broken down into 20-minute, 10-minute blocks, the way that the learning programs are. People can stop and start and they don't have to sit there for a full day and do it. So it's all about sort of using people and the time that they have to do the training. So the other part of the element that we talked about was the micro modules that we've got here. And what they do is show you probably for about 20 minutes of learning. If somebody's got a particular interest in a certain sector, or they want to look and compare a couple of sectors, these modules, people will go through them and it highlights the roles that are available. And we've really put a focus on the entry-level roles from the feedback that we've received from DWP colleagues, and then actually show that there is progression as well, but these are the roles that are most relevant to you. We talk about what is needed in those jobs so that people really understand the sort of the physical, the mental requirements to come into those jobs, and so they know exactly what they're going for and what to expect. There's videos on there to show them what's happening, but it's really about them getting to know a specific workplace, kind of questions they could ask if they went for an interview to show that they're interested, how to get that information out of there as well. Health and safety is really important in our sector, so it shows people what they should expect from a good employer so that they can make sure they're safe on farm. And then as Karen mentioned, there's that accommodation and transport, and there's a lot of benefits that come with farming that aren't part of the salary package when you look at the advert, but actually being able to get a house and have those travel benefits as well can be really useful for people for some certain jobs. We also then go through what happens in a typical year, so that people can see the variety and how things move on. And all through that session, they're doing a little recap of the information that they're getting as well. So a really solid learning experience for them as well. So just to really recap and bring it together before we open for any questions, all of this information is on our website. If you go to tier.org, growing prospects, that's where you'll find it all in one place. But there is information on there about the job profiles, the career information, signposting out to membership as well, and the employer toolkit, careers advice, and really helping people get started in the industry and look at those videos as well and get some recruitment tips. And then beyond that, then there's our learning hub, which has an immense amount of material on it as well for people once they're in that job and they can start to progress. So really it would be good if there's any suggestions from yourselves about how we can make sure that this is widespread across the country. And we know it won't be applicable to every job centre or every employment office, but actually there'll be certain pockets in the country, probably on a regional basis, that are more interested in this than others. So if anybody has any questions or suggestions, then please do put them in the chat so that we can look to implement those going forward. This resource is here. It's all free to access to people. So we would like it being used and really helping people spread the word about the opportunities we have in our sector. And thank you very much for your time. So I've got Luke monitoring the questions. Luke, has anything come in?
Hi, we've not received any questions just yet, but now's the opportunity if anyone wants to raise any with us.
Or any feedback or
Okay.
anything really.
So we've got a question about recent LMI being available on our website too, if you wanted to talk about our research projects, Tess.
Yeah, so the summary of our labour market research is available on our website. What it doesn't do, which I suspect you're asking, is it doesn't go into the details of the numbers of jobs available in specific regions, in specific sectors and job roles. That's definitely an area that we're looking at and looking at how we can improve upon, because we know there's lots of different information out there, but regionalisation of the labour market is on the agenda for next year.
That's brilliant, Tess. And another question about having the slides.
Yeah, we will circulate those to everybody that's attended this, and then I believe there'll be a recording available on the website as well. So please feel free to share it. If you want us to talk to this to any of your groups, then we're more than happy to do so as well. But the slides and recording are available.
Thanks. And I think that also we'll pop a link into the VWEX and any of the other, obviously, resources that we've mentioned today. And that, yes, that should help with the schools in Cumbria as per the comment in the chat about the virtual work experience. And we've got a question around myth-busting material.
Yep. So the learning module for careers advisors is myth busting at the moment. That's the key bit of work we're doing. We actually had a conversation earlier in the week with our careers ICAP group, the Industry Careers Action Plan, and looking at how we can build on those myths and how we can do more myths busting as well. So if anybody has a format or they've seen it in a different sector work really well and you want us to follow that, then please do let us know.
Brilliant, thanks, Tess. Another question, is membership needed to access the Growing Prospects platform?
Not for Growing Prospects. All of our careers material is free to access for everybody. And likewise with the virtual work experience, we've made sure we've worked with a provider that is free to access. You do on SpringPod, you do have to give your name and a few details, but that's just so it keeps your progress as you go through the programme. But all of our careers material in the Growing Prospects is free.
Thank you. An interesting question. Can we also put a link on our Padlet for schools to access, please?
We can, yeah. So where we work on the careers, our research showed that there was a gap with the careers influencers. So whether that's parents and teachers, and because there is great work being done by lots of other organisations. We've got a few on the call, Leaf, Countryside Classroom, etc., that works with the children direct. But our material is more at that teacher level, but it can definitely be made available.
Great, thank you. Do DWP currently have access to Growing Prospects, or is it planned?
It's planned. We're working on it at the moment about how we can get it all uploaded for you.
Great, thanks. Do we have a contact to input into careers events organised by other organisations?
Yeah, we have Ruthie, who's on the call and is our careers manager, and she would be happy to speak with you about any other events. So we will make sure Ruthie's contact details are also in the pack that we send out.
That's brilliant. I don't think there are any other questions at the moment, but I think that it'd be right to say that Ruthie's email will be on the email that's going out to everyone at the end of today's session with the recording and all of the resources that we've mentioned. And we'd be really keen on hearing how you can help distribute the information around this project to all of your channels.
And I think it's worth adding as well, Luke, today we've talked about work coaches and advisors, but we have been working with the prison service and with military charities as well, looking at how veterans get into the industry. So this has been designed with all of those three audiences in mind, not just those going through the job centre.
Definitely right, Tess. Thank you. We have had another question. Is there any support for organisations holding physical work experience?
There is on our website, we have some a template and a toolkit to help people just go through a bit of a checklist of what they should be doing if they've got virtual work experience going on. Yeah, and anything we can do to support that, because we know that's a really key part to people changing their minds, but on farm it is quite difficult. So yeah, there's a toolkit there as well.
Super. I don't believe anything else is coming in.
Okay, well, everybody, we will send the recording and the slides and contact email. So if you think of anything afterwards, we are always open to feedback to make this work for everybody and improve it where we can do so. Please do use it, please do share it, and please do feedback as well so that we know it's been used. And thank you very much for your time.